Did you notice that Greta Thunberg used to be very cool 5 years ago? And she still is. We just don't see her that much. She still sticks to her ideals and to her beliefs. And I really want to be like Greta Thunberg. And I hope we will all be like Greta Thunberg one day. And I have difficulties with pronouncing her surname. Moin moin, dear people, old, new, my friends, the friends of my friends, my relatives, and anyone in the world who found this channel and who thought that possibly the topics that I'm talking about resonated with them or they could be useful for them. My name is Anna, I'm not in Germany, a survivor, a fighter, a writer, and today I wanted to bring a bit of a change to the channel, into my life too, because since I moved out from my friends, I'm very much in love with my flat and I really don't like leaving the house. And you also know that I'm not a walker, I'm a mocker. I always say this, but I actually have quoted the Beatles from their famous interview. Probably, I don't know, it's obvious or not. And yeah, I decided to film this video. It's in my town, it's in the district which I actually believed it was going to become my home, because the biggest number of flats is concentrated in this district, but didn't happen. I'm actually very happy that it didn't happen. Although, yeah, those are normal flats, they are old, but it doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about today, I just thought that I needed to make this video because it's been almost a year and a half since I started my YouTube channel, and I now feel like I'm more confident about what I'm currently doing on my YouTube channel, and I already had some kind of introductory videos, and also there is a video why writing is important to me, because yeah, I'm a writer. And actually, good news, I feel more motivated now to write articles again. I don't know when there will be more articles on Medium or on my website when I finish it, but I'm really happy that I gained motivation again. And yeah, I decided that it's high time to get acquainted for you and for me. And I will tell you about myself, some fun facts. And the name is of course an exaggeration. I hope you will forgive me for that. It's not a clickbait, it's just an exaggeration for, like, you know, for beautiful words. And yeah, I think I will start from the very beginning, and I will start from this particular point because it was a bit of pain in the ass to establish the camera here. So start with the basics. I was born in Russia. Wow, surprise, surprise. I was born in Russia. My family is full, so I had a mother and father and a grandmother and grandfather. But my grandfather died from a stroke when I was in the 5th grade, around 12 or something. And it happened, unfortunately, because my family has certain problems with alcohol. And it led to the situation that I don't drink alcohol. It's not because I'm a very moral person. No, you are free to drink alcohol if you want, but I don't see the reason. It doesn't taste good. Also, my head starts hurting when I drink something stronger than cider, and cider is the only thing that I probably like. And yeah, I grew up in the town which is called Kursk, and Kursk is famous for the submarine that sank, if I quote the so-called president of my country, who I don't accept as a president, and also because it is at the border with Ukraine. And since it's at the border in Ukraine, we can say that in some parts of Russia they don't really care about everything that is going on, but in my hometown it's obvious that the war is going. Let's put it this way. Of course, they don't suffer as much as Ukrainians do, but we also had many unpleasant cases, and I really sometimes question how people forgive Putin for all that. But yeah, okay, it doesn't matter that much. I think it's obvious on my channel what my political beliefs are, and my family is a simple family, and unfortunately, from my family, my father is the only person who I'm connected to, who I'm talking to, because of various reasons. But it doesn't mean that I don't love my family. If I don't talk to my family, it doesn't mean that I don't love them. I love them very much, especially my closest family and my cousins with whom I grew up, and also my nieces and my nephews. Although I can imagine what they are talking about me, because I am national traitor, so to say. And I went to an ordinary school. It's very ugly from the outside. It was very stressful to be inside because of my health restrictions, because I think it's noticeable that my eye, this eye, is not super straight, and yeah, I cannot say that I was bullied at school, but it brought certain inconveniences to be that way. And my school, the standard school, is a very patriotic school, but I got acquainted with the politics of Alexei Navalny around 2015 during the last years of my school, and this is how I became an opposer, because many things happened. Also, certain politicians were targeted around 2015. They suffered from Putin's poisoning or murders. And thank you, plane. Thank you very much. And yeah, I believed in politics of Alexei Navalny, and I still believe in Alexei Navalny, although he is dead for more than a year. And right now, as a political activist, I'm a bit lost. I also have a short about that, because yeah, I don't really know where to put my activist energy right now, and I still hope that I will be able to do something good for Russia. But otherwise, I live in Germany, and I really love Germany. I think you can see that from my channel. I really love Northern Germany, so yeah, I'm saying hi to all people who like gloom and rain and stuff, and it's actually quite stuffed right now. Oh, I forgot that I have a microphone again. It's quite stuffed, and it's obvious that it's summer, and the sun is a bit, so if I'm sitting like this, yeah, I have a bit of sun fear. So I think I also have an old article about things that actually made me an opposer, except for Navalny and also my group mates, because I studied at university and I had great group mates at my university. But one of the things that made me an opposer, I think it's learning the language, because I speak several languages. And how it happened, that's a weird story. I am from the family from which I think only my great aunt speaks English, and I think from what I heard she speaks very well. I never heard her speaking English. Otherwise, nobody really speaks a language. My mother and my grandmother, they studied German at schools, because those times German was still popular. I guess they wanted to know it as the language of the enemy. I like willow trees. Do you like willow trees? And my father knows English, a bit basics, but I hope he's learning right now. And I suffered a lot my first years at school. On the one hand, English definitely attracted me somehow. On the other hand, it was a big pain, because I remember we read texts with my father, we tried to do homework with Google Translator. It was all very bad. I also had chickenpox in the 5th grade. And after that, it was very, very hard to catch up with my English studies. My dear, I'm afraid that it will be focusing on you, not on me. Although you're very beautiful, of course. I'm talking to the willow tree. Yeah, another fact about me, I like talking to animals, to trees, to plants. Yeah, and I was suffering, and I was really dreaming about this fact when I already get the mark that I really deserve, which is unsatisfactory. It's like 3. In Russia, you can get a mark from 2 to 5, and I really thought that 3 is the mark that I deserve. And I was told that I cannot really, I don't possess the ability to can speak English, and it made me so angry once. And around the 7th grade, I would say. And at that moment, I decided that I will speak English. And in summer, I took some horrible book of my father's, like self-help, self-learn English language book, and I did exercises every day in the morning. My grandmother was saying that I can check the clock, like at 8 sharp. I got up and did exercises, and in September I came back and I suddenly spoke English. Sorry. And not suddenly, it was a lot of work. I cried a lot, and I was shot and I fell into a puddle. Voice, hello. Yeah. And that was very funny. It was hard to believe for my teacher, and I got the excellent mark in English. In the second term, we have 4 terms in Russia, and I remember during the first term, I helped my friend. She was sitting next to me, and she got the excellent mark, and I was like, wait. And that was the moment when I started to raise hands, because I'm a very, very, very anxious person. I didn't want to raise hand because in Russia it is like, when you raise your hand, and if you dare to raise your hand when you don't know the correct answer, you're dead. And I started to raise my hand, and it was actually quite a boost of my confidence when I started to have excellent marks in English, and when people start saying like, oh, Anna speaks English very well. That was the subject of my pride. Also, I speak French now. I studied French at university. It was my program. I had to do that. I wanted to choose German, and half of my group also wanted to choose German, but we didn't have such an option to choose German. And eventually I started French. When you don't really like the language, when you don't like the sound of the language, you can check, you can ask people who learn various languages. They like the sound of the language, like all these muletillas, it's Spanish word, like, these connectors, something that makes your language a bit dirty, but also it brings charm to your language. And you would say, yeah, it's weird, French is so beautiful, but yeah, it happened like this. I really love the sound of the German language. That's why my German language is okay. My Spanish is also, well, I don't practice it too much. Spanish I was learning by myself, because once I went to France for a short work camp, and I met so many Spanish speakers there, so I was like, let's learn Spanish. And I really love Spanish. I read in Spanish. quite some. I'm trying to read at least one book in Spanish, but of course sometimes I don't manage because it's not my priority right now. What else can I tell you that interesting do I have? I was fighting, dragonfly. I was fighting against Lady D for a long time, and I'm diagnosed with chronic Lady D, and I don't really remember myself in my previous life without her. Yeah, I don't know, it's just I have a video about it, and I have a suspicion. Ducks are fighting. I have a suspicion that YouTube doesn't like the word D, and it doesn't recommend videos, although I'm sure there are people with similar problems, and I really want to be a support for these people because I'm a survivor, I'm alive, and I think for people who don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's important to see people who also didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but then they saw. And now I'm a functioning human being, but I still have anxiety, a lot of anxiety. I think my anxiety is rooted in my childhood, always at school, in the family. Everyone expected something from me, but they never told me what exactly they expected from me, and as a result I became anxious, and instead of supporting me I was shouted at, for example, and yeah, that was a big mess. And also the attitude of the country towards people who are quite different from other people in beliefs or in everything, in attitude to other people, in love relationships, people who are different in any aspect in Russia, they are bullied, because in Russia you need to be according to the standard. The main thing is that what your neighbors are going to think about you. So what you are wearing, what you are, who you are dating, where do you study, what you study, where you work. So somehow everybody knows everything, and everybody judges you, although they can smile into your face, but you know that everybody judges you and everybody hates you. And as soon as you make a mistake, they will go and report about you, like a mistake from their point of view, you know. Like I have among my classmates, I have people who did report also about me. I'm very proud about this page of my life. And also I think among my classmates, it's a bit of a mess of a talk right now, because yeah, I'm still processing everything that happened to me in Russia, and I still don't know how to look at the perspective of people who were around me in Russia. And among my classmates, I'm probably the only one who is the poser and an open opposer, because it's definitely being an opposer, it's not the thing of the region, it's the Moscow thing, it's the Moscow privilege of going to the protests. In the region, everyone is patriotic, and yeah, we are raised to be patriotic. And from my class, we have like the spectrum, like I'm the opposer, and another person went to the war. He was a member of Wagner. Oh my God. And I even have an article, a short story that was even published in this book, in this small book, which I have a copy, which is like, it's not actually a book, I'm not proud of it, but it's probably the only story that I really love from that book, and probably I should republish it somewhere, because I think it's really valuable about my classmates going to the war, because many of my classmates, their purpose was to enter military universities because it brought prestige for people from the regions. all different ways, all different military universities, and also girls, boys, girls, anyone. And yeah, it's a difficult topic. Recently I saw the picture, this classmate of mine, and I think he is not there anymore in Ukraine after Wagner ended very badly. But I saw his picture with, like, you know, with a rifle, black, huge black rifle. I'm afraid of my classmates. I'm afraid. Yeah, but I'm quite safe here. The waterish background, and ducks are fighting, probably the most dangerous thing here. But yeah, it's, my hometown is a very scary place, so to say. At school, my favorite subjects were literature, but it was a bit difficult because I had difficult relationships with my teacher, because she had high expectations, but she was also the woman from whom I didn't know what she wanted from me. I remember in the 11th grade I was so fed up, and she asked only people who she knew for sure that they knew how to respond. And she asked me about something connected with Master and Margarita, or something connected with Leo Tolstoy, I don't remember. She asked me, and I exploded, and I just said, look, nobody in the classroom knows. From where should I know the answer to this question? And she took the book where we registered all our homeworks and also our marks, and she wrote like a huge I don't know what it is called, like complaint for my parents that my behavior was terrible. So I loved history, social science and English. I wanted to study journalistics or international relationships, or law, maybe law sometime. No, I don't know, probably not. And I also wanted to be an interpreter, but I became a teacher. I entered my university, and it was probably the best place in the whole world, well, not in the whole world, in Russia, because I met like-minded people. I realized that I wasn't a freak, and meeting like-minded people is so crucial for your, you know, self-esteem, your mental well-being. Although mental I wasn't well, of course, but I don't know, I had so many happy moments from my university years, and still I consider people from my university very important people in my life. And recently one of my friends from those years came out to me, and I felt so proud. I felt so happy that she trusted this to me, and I really hope that she's going to be fine. She's going to be very happy with her partner. Although for LGBTQ plus people, it's like conditions are unbearable right now, unfortunately. Right now, I don't see myself as a teacher. I studied teaching linguistics. I see myself as an author. Please don't fall, please don't fall, please. That's the only thing that I'm asking for, don't fall. I see myself as an author. I don't know if I will succeed. Of course, I enjoy making videos, blogging, YouTubing, and any freelance work, editing, because I'm a freelancer in my soul. I'm very happy being at home and working at home. Although sometimes it's nice to see people too. And I don't know if I will succeed, because right now everyone is on the internet, and competition is very, very serious. I don't want it to be a competition. I just want to create things that matter to me, and if they resonate with other people, it's great. but I think I'm trying to do things, but it's also because of the competition, because of also now ChatGPT and AI. You also have to compete with ChatGPT and AI, and also the algorithms of YouTube, they're not as they used to be. So I don't know what it is going to be and how it is going to turn out, but I'm also fine with working as Kinderbetreuerin, or like helper, teacher's helper, where as I worked in April, it was a very cool experience, and this is the job during which you don't ask yourself what I'm doing here, why I'm here, and what I'm doing like generally, because for me it's important to bring change, to do something valuable to the world, to the society. In the kitchen, you also, when you are verbally abused, it's not always the best place to feel yourself valuable, to feel valuable. But my dream job is actually being like Christo Grozev, like investigative journalist. I like Christo. If you want trainees, I'd love to work with Christo Grozev. I think this is so amazing. Or do a really cool investigation. I don't know what can be cooler than that, than doing an investigation that will change people's minds. I don't know. I really want to try investigative journalism, but it's also very difficult, and I know that my mental health might not handle investigative journalism, so I will not likely work as an investigative journalist, but I would really like trying myself out in this area. I think it would work out for me. I could do things in this area. My favorite authors currently, I like American and English literature of modern times, and I think Sylvia Plath is one of my favorite authors these days, and female authors, I consider them really important, and I really don't understand how previously I haven't seen the magic in the female authors. It's not that I ignored them, they just didn't land in my hands somehow, and now I feel like I'm a big fan of Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf, Daphne du Maurier, and I'd love to read more female poetry or more female literature generally. And Matt Haig, he's hated these days, but I still believe that the Midnight Library, also the humans, and also the reasons to stay alive, although now he is blamed for convincing people not to take pills, but from what I remember, it was not exactly how he put it. In his way, like, I don't want to, defend him. He is a big boy and everybody makes mistakes, but from what I remember, it didn't help him, pills didn't help him, and there are people for whom, unfortunately, antidepressants are not that helpful or as helpful as we would want them to be. So coping mechanisms without pills are also fine to develop, but visiting a doctor and going for therapy and medical therapies, if necessary, please do that. I also love The Last Family in England, although it's super dramatic, like trigger warning, animals' death. But I love it. I don't know if I will ever reread it, but I think I enjoyed reading it, although it hurt me a lot reading it. Wonder if I look like a freak filming here, because people are walking their dogs. I'm here talking to the camera and to myself. But okay, what else? How else I can entertain you? I used to do international volunteering, and I used to believe that this is the best thing that you can possibly do as a young person. To join some ESC project before you're 30, go to some place, learn about yourself, learn about people. And I still believe that international volunteering is a great opportunity. But now I really feel like if you are from a non-privileged country, it's really important. Hi, birch tree. Somehow birch trees are associated with Russia in Russia, although birch trees are everywhere and they're amazing because like they're all so different. And even if it is a thin frail birch tree, they still survive. I remember in my hometown, next to my house, there was a birch tree that was very thin and was standing like this, and like with this angle to the road. Or maybe it wasn't the birch tree, but also there were some birch trees like this, and they survive. They're great, they're strong. Let's be like birch trees and Greta Thunberg. And yeah, I really feel like you should be careful where you're going, and if you really share the values of these people who name themselves like the leaders of the movement of the international volunteering. Because unfortunately, when you are from a non-privileged country, if something happens to your country, if your sending organization falls apart because of the foreign agent law, there will be no one to protect you, and there will be people who will benefit from this situation. I cannot say that I'm angry with certain people. Probably not anymore. I was, I guess. But unfortunately, the fact is that you can be angry as much as you want. It will not change the situation, and the people who did bad things to you, they don't care. This is one of the things that still make me so angry, still shock me, that people who do bad things to other people, they don't care. They don't suffer at night thinking about all their horrible deeds that they did towards other people. So that's the thing about forgiveness, I guess, because we forgive not for these people, not for anyone around us, but for ourselves, for our mental and physical health. And I had to leave France because there was no chance for me to stay in France, and I couldn't return to Russia. And this is when it happened that I came to Germany in a very, very bad state already. And in Germany, I spent quite some time with only paper, like with a copy of my Russian passport, with a stamp from Ausländerbehörde, like for the foreign office, that I was there. And I was somewhere between Duldung, it's like the what's this called? Delayed deportation, something like this. And also I didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do with me. There were some traumatizing days in my life. And but people, I still believe that there are more good people than bad people in the world. And people who I now call not even my friends, but my family, they helped a lot. They literally saved my life. And I have high hopes. I believe in humanity. Call me naive, but I believe in humanity. Humanity. Auf Wiedersehen, it's time to say goodbye. Still love scorpions. Although I should forgive them for myself, but forgiving needs time. Maybe I won't rearrange my camera anymore because I really like this birch tree here. And this park generally. This is my first time in this park. It's ridiculous. I've been living here since September 2022. Yeah. So since September-ish, May-ish 2024, I can say I'm in remission. I survived Dublin Agreement, something that I also want to write an article about, but I wrote to a place which I would really want to interview, and they never responded to me. I guess I should have been persistent, but I'm not an official journalist, and I really want to try like journalism these days, like the actual journalism. So far the article is not going, but maybe one day, because I really want to raise the awareness about this topic. And I can still that I still have anxiety. I can say that I still have anxiety. I still tend to overwork myself, because with my background, I don't really know when to stop. I don't know when it is enough, when I should take a break, because taking a break is something when I'm like already, and it's not normal. I'm saying this to myself and to you too. It's not normal. Breaks are necessary. They should correspond with the amount of work you do. The more you work, the more time you need to dedicate to resting. Don't forget about that. And also, there is nothing more important than your health and your well-being, and that there is nothing. Like, if you have a toxic boss, I'm not a privileged girl who would say just shut the door behind yourself and never return to this place, because I understand that's not how it works. But creating certain mechanisms to protect yourself from toxicity is really, really, really important, I would say. And for today, I can say still that I'm afraid of men, although I have some men among my friends. I know I have Klaus, one of my best friends, and my family, because I have been living with his parents for almost 3 years. And I have some other male friends, but otherwise I'm still scared of men. And not recently, there was a very unpleasant situation at the train station. There was a guy who was like 56, I think, and he was really annoying towards girls, because my tripod did fall down. I think the wind is insinuating that it's time to finish filming, probably. But yeah, I was saying that I'm scared of men. And at the train station, when it was under construction, there was a man who was, I cannot say he assaulted women, but he was a bit like, sneaky. He was trying to get into the relationships with women. And he also told me once that when I was on my way to my German exam, no, that was Lebanon Deutschland exam, like the exam about Germany. And he asked me when I was coming back, and for some reason I was very angry with myself, and he was like, yeah, no, my shift is going to be over, otherwise I would accompany you home. And at that moment, I still understood that I am far in my feministic, well, I'm not strong enough, let's say, and I was close to going to the police, but I wasn't quite there, and I was still scared, like many women. And yeah, it's something to work on. I really hope to become one of these women who speaks for other women and who's not afraid, but so far I'm not quite there yet, unfortunately. And otherwise, I think I'm doing fine, and I think I will be finishing, because yeah, I think it's going to be, you're going to see Yeah. Yeah, I think that was definitely a good ending. It's all what I wanted to say. If I still want to say something, I think I will put a small part of the video from home. But I hope it became a bit clear what kind of a person I am. And if you want to join this crazy club, this channel, and if you give me a thumbs up or write a comment, I'll be very happy, but you don't have to do that. And I will be wishing you love, love, peace, peace from my northern Germany. As you can see, it's quite cloudy and it's fresh especially when there is no sun. And I will love such weather. I really imagine myself going home and treating myself to a cup of tea, because when it is hot, I know that it's not that bad drinking tea when it is hot, because this is how your body cools down, but we don't do that, right? Usually we're doing something cold when it's hot. And but when the weather is like this and it's a bit dark and you can cozy up, you can work on your book and prepare for my German exam. My German exam is like next week. What am I doing instead of preparing for my exam? I'm writing this video. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have something to say, to share, comments are open. You can also find me on Instagram.